A few sources that I look at are sources that I didn't find quite fitting enough for my paper. And I'll start off with this one written by Von Berg and Johnson. Basically, the overall concept of this and why it didn't fit is that it focused on the integrity of America and its history. It alluded back to puritanical times, and it talked about how it correlates to today's society and how the steroid scandal is neglect or negating what was established by previous Americans. Moving on to the next article written by Hampton. Um, this gave more of a broader spectrum on athletes as a whole. It didn't really focus in on baseball players and steroid usage, but more so Olympic athletes. Talks here about international and Olympic athletes. So basically, it just wasn't specific enough for the particular sport that I'm looking at. Uh, Moving on to this one written by Cantos and Arguello. This hit on a good point that I wanted to maybe look at in acculturation of Latin American ball players. And Latin Americans make up a large proportion of the MLB. However, it didn't really get into detail on their acculturation and didn't talk much on steroid usage and their maybe reasonings and how that goes back to their heritage and their coming over to America. This next source, written by Dorman, really gave more of a comparison between Barry Bonds and Jason Giambi. It gave a question answer type basis and really wasn't what I was looking for, and it didn't really touch more on steroids between individual players besides these two. It looked at the Balco, which was a major distributor of the steroids and involved in the process. This article here written by Schmatzer, don't know if I pronounced that correctly. However, this article focused more on the finding. The Mitchell reports was the findings. In total, 89 current former players were identified as alleged PED users. So this overall did not focus on reasons why they used it, but finding out that they did use it. And this here last source by Rudolph was really a case study on Manny Ramirez, and it was political and global views were involved in this, and it looked at his the triumphs and lows of his career as a whole, but didn't really delve into steroid usage by him. Just briefly mentioned a steroid scandal by Manny Rodriguez. And that concludes my sources used. I'm going to briefly click over to my works cited pages and my 15 sources. Scroll up and down here on these. And back up. And that'll wrap up my presentation. Thank you.